evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you remember the taste of Grandma's delicious homemade cookies? Have you ever tried to make Grandma's homemade cookies? I have. I went and I got her recipe out, and I was very careful to measure everything just right and went exactly by the card. I would preheat the oven to the exact direction she said, to the exact temperature. I would put the cookies in, and whenever I pulled them out, they would look nothing like Grandma's homemade cookies. They were hard and flat and sometimes even a little burnt. They were quite a disappointment. But your days of disappointment are over. Today I'm going to show you how to make my idea of homemade cookies. First of all, I need to tell you before I start that my idea of homemade is anything that is made in my home is considered homemade. So, first things that you need to do is get all of your ingredients together and all of your utensils that you need. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is get your pans. You'll need a pan and some scissors and a spatula, a knife, and a serving plate for when they're done. Pink is my favorite color. And then, most important, you need the cookies. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I thought you said they were going to be homemade. But what I said really was, anything made in my home is homemade. And these are going to be made in my home. First thing that you're going to do is, the first thing that you're going to do is preheat your oven to whatever the directions say on the back. These say 350, so I'm going to go over to the oven and I'm going to preheat it to 350 and give that time to heat while I am starting to make the cookies. First, you're going to need your scissors. You'll need to cut open the package, of course. I always cut at the top because it comes in a neat little tray. Now, I like to get the ones that are pre-cut, but you don't have to. I forgot you needed spray. You also need some spray. If you don't have a non-stick pan. If you have a non-stick pan, do not use the non-stick spray. I know from experience that it will ruin your non-stick pans. But this one is not a non-stick, so we're going to have to spray it. So let's do that first before we break open our cookies. Okay. I always try to spray it over the sink or over something other than the floor so you don't slip and hurt yourself like I've done before. Just a light mist will do. Okay, now you get to go and break open your cookies. I've broken open my cookies before, and when you do it, sometimes they come out uneven. Sometimes they don't want to break exactly right. You can do it this way, or you can cut them where they are, and that way they come out the way they're supposed to. And they also look a lot neater. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you that the directions will say for you to put them in for 10 to 11 minutes. If you want your cookies well done, then you put them in for 10 to 11 minutes. If you were like me and you don't want them flat and hard, then you will want to take 2 minutes off the cooking time. Only put them in for maybe 8 or 9 minutes, and they'll still come out moist and chewy. And whenever they've had time to cool on the pan, actually the pan keeps cooking the cookies since it's still hot, it'll keep cooking them. So they won't be raw, they'll just look raw when they come out. Now after you've let them sit there for a little bit, they'll finish cooking. And then they'll be absolutely perfect. We'll get these on there, and then we'll put them in the oven. Make sure that you set your timer anywhere that you can so that you don't overcook them. And be careful not to burn yourself. Now, in about 8 or 9 minutes, we're going to have some delicious homemade cookies. Do you have any questions?
So if you want them a little bit not so chewy, you can put them in for extra 2 more minutes?
Yes, if you want them to be completely done, where when you pull them out it doesn't look a little bit raw still in the center, then you'll leave them in for the full time that the package says. But like I said, if you do want to leave them in for just less than the 2 minutes, take 2 minutes off the time. After they've sat in the pan, they won't be raw in the middle, they'll just look like they were. But they'll be done all the way. Any other questions? No?
Is it safe to eat them while they are raw? Because I do like eating cookie dough and ice cream.
I don't know if it's safe to eat them when they're raw. I've heard not to. But like I said, if you leave them on the pan, they won't be raw. And if you like to eat raw cookie dough and you've done it for a long time and you're still alive, I'm sure that you're fine. Any other questions? Thank you.